It's Friday afternoon and all the boats have to be in the charter base tomorrow morning, so there's a fleet of boats heading back in this direction. There's just so many boats, I can't go to the right of them because there's another boat to the right of that one and another boat to the right of that one, so the standard navigation rules have kind of gone out the window. At some point I've got to move right. There just isn't a gap. All sorts of different sized boats and all going the same direction. There's nobody following us. We're the Lone Rangers heading away from the charter bases. I still haven't managed to turn right. Still boats coming. And the problem is these are all charter boats. Half of them don't know the rules of the road. And so I can't just drift in the right direction. I've just got to stay out of everyone's way. Not fun, but much more fun than last night was. On our way back to the airport again. I'm going to do another drop off of Candice tomorrow morning, which is a very early flight, so we're going to anchor outside the airport. We've got a little bit of a breeze from almost directly behind, so I'm flying my Genoa again. And I've got 1200 watts on the motors, and I'm doing 5 knots, which is great. A little bit of wind helping me along. And we're going past a few small islands. There's one very little one, and then this one over here, which is also very, very small. It's got a structure on it. You can't see it from this side, but it's on the other side of the island. There's the structure. And looking back into the distance, there's a few more that we're going to go past. We're in Dalmatia, so these zigzag islands all the time. Our ETA is probably about 3 hours, if the wind holds. I think it will. And yeah, that's Trogir, and in the distance there, Split is behind this hill. I've done this route a few times now, and hopefully it will go as smoothly as every other time. So I did make one change to my mainsail, and previously when I was trying to sail, I didn't see anything. It was basically like trying to look from basically this. That's what I had to see to look for boats and that. And that's because my mainsail, my foresail was a little bit too low. So I went onto one of the sailing and rigging forums and I said, oh no problem, raise it, just to make sure you keep it attached to the furler. And so if you can see over there, I've raised it probably about 8 inches. And I've got another single line wrapped around the furler, so it works well. And I'm happy to report it works really well. I can finally see on both sides of the boat. So my chances of hitting another boat or hitting into land have gone down dramatically. Very happy about that. Mixed results as to whether it's better for the sail or worse for the sail. For me, I think what makes sense is, okay, I've lifted the sail, which means that it's slightly higher up and slightly cleaner air is hitting it. The other benefit, and I'm going to go around the back of the boat, is because I'm not using these tracks, which got in the way of my solar panels. I used to have this orange line over here to pull it down and stop the top of the sail from flapping. And previously I almost always had to have it all the way down. And I think it's because this boat is probably designed to have the foresail a little bit higher. So now I only very seldom have to use this little orange line to pull it down depending on the wind angle. And it gives me a lot more adjustment. So yeah, happy with these changes, and hopefully when I use both sails, at the moment I'm not using my mainsail because the wind is coming from almost directly behind me, and I'm not a fan of jibing. So what I'm doing is just the foresail and the motors. One other thing I did a few minutes ago, oops, sorry for the spinning, is I trimmed my boom again, not for wind because there's no sail up, but just to get the sun off these 2 panels. So now I've got more power going to the motors, which means I can go a little bit faster. It's a very easy day's motoring. The wind is behind us almost directly, so I'm just using the mainsail to pull us along, and not too much to see. There's a village we've just gone past, and there's a couple of boats out still this time of the day. It's just after 5 o'clock. This one in front of me here is a tourist boat. They often use these to go dolphin watching. Oops. And on the other side I've got a much bigger boat, so let me zoom out and go to the other side. Candice is doing a great job of watch captain. How's it going?
Yes, I'm good watcher.
We haven't hit anything, so you've done your job so far. And here we've got one of the MSC boats. I wonder if I can see which one it is. Let's try and look in a little bit more.
Which MSC is it?
I can't see. I'm trying.
Can't see them.
Not yet. But maybe if I take a picture, I'll be able to snap a shot.
On the Pucisca, and I've been on the
And now you've been on Electra for a long time. Aren't you spoilt, eh? What's the matter? I wanted to film the catamaran and you're making noise, so I'm like, I'll film the noise instead.
Look how I'm making dogs.
You're making the dogs dance. I think that'll be one for the fans, my darling.
Only fans.
Only fans. Use my fangs sometimes. It's not a catamaran, it's a mono, but a very big mono. A very unusually designed one. I'll see if I can find it on Marine Traffic quickly. So strangely, that boat is not on AIS, and you would expect the boats that size to be on AIS. Very, very unusual boat, very wide. I mean, it almost looks like it could still be a catamaran, it's that wide, but it's not. Never seen a boat like that before. Maybe I'll be able to get one of the pictures into Google and tell me what it is. So I've just left the airport behind me. Candice should be on her flight any minute now. And tonight we have a torrential rain and thunderstorm. So I'm going to a marina on the island of Brač. The island of Brač is 7 hours in that direction, so quite a long sail, although I'll probably speed up. At the moment I've only got 300 watts in each motor, 600 watts in total, and I'm doing 3 knots, which is what I do on 600 watts. This is also the speed I could do 24/7. It is 9 a.m, 9:20 a.m, and I'm charging the solar panels at 600 watts as well, so in theory I've got twice as much power coming in as I'm consuming. And once the batteries get full, I'll just progressively speed up, and we should be going at about 4.5 to 5 knots. There doesn't look like there's any wind today, so it won't be a day for getting the sails out, I don't think. Might be. I've got the sails ready. The mainsail bag is unzipped, and the furlough is always easy to do. But let's see how the day goes. As far as I know, it's just one long straight line. 22 nautical miles. At 3 knots is about 7 hours. At 4 knots is about probably about 5.5 to 6 hours. And if I get very lucky and there's some wind, then I'll do 5 knots. Let's see how the day goes. Very fast gold boat going past us now. Very, very fast. And here comes the wake. It's an overcast day today. There's cloud everywhere, not a shadow in sight. Laundry taking forever to dry. And I'm still pulling in 780 watts at the moment. So more than I'm using 600 watts, but I'm charging very, very slowly now. Oh, look who it is. It's our friend Scorpios from yesterday. Candice isn't with us. She would have liked to have seen it. Let me go and cancel the AIS alarm. I'm definitely not going to hit Scorpios. I don't think I could afford it if I had to hit Scorpios. Just quite an impressive boat. A motor sailor. The nice thing about motor sailors compared to motor boats is they don't have a wake. There was another boat now going at more or less the same speed with the biggest wake I've ever had. We took water over the front windscreen going into that wake. It was really, really terrible. Yeah, very black, very sleek. I wonder how well it actually sails. After a recent super yacht sinking with its second tallest mast in the world, I'm starting to think that too short a mast must definitely be a better idea, as far as I know. are the guests, I wonder. Who are you guys? Ah, that's not called Scorpios. What is that? Place Azul. Oh, let's check that one out. Another very big sailing yacht going past. This is called a Netta. 40 odd meter again. So I'm going past the relatively famous old town of Split. I haven't been there yet. I've driven through it. I've dropped Candice off at a concert which was in one of the castles inside Split, which is very cool. And I may be going back there in a few days when I go and fish Candice from the airport again. We'll see how the weather looks and where the anchorages are decent. There's an anchorage on the other side of this hill. So let me zoom out before I do that. There's an anchorage on the other side of this hill which is quite good, and she's arriving quite late at night, so I think I might anchor there and then see the town before she arrives if the weather is decent. At the moment I have a 8-knot headwind, which is quite annoying. Yeah, I'm that's not too bad. I'm enjoying the sail even at the slow speed. The sea's a little bit lumpy. I think it's not wave or anything like that yet. I think it's mostly from motorboats and the ferries going up and down. I'm hit by the biggest wake I've ever been hit by a little while ago. The motor yacht not going very fast, but such a steep wake that the front actually dug into the second one, even though I was going as slowly as I could. And yeah, splashed water all the way to the windscreens. I've never had water on the bedroom windows before. This is my favourite sailing spot. I can see obviously all around me. I'm sitting, which is nice and comfortable. I can read all the instruments. I can see what's going on with our plotting, with our route. I can see what the wind is doing. I can see how the motors are going. Everything is great from this position. I just wish I had a little bit more comfort. I clipped on. So I should get a pillow or something to put onto the spar. I think that would seal the deal for the perfect spot to helm the boat in, or at least to keep watching. There's a very big, very noisy boat going very fast in the distance there. I can't even begin to imagine how much fuel they're burning through. It must be monstrous amounts. Monstrous amounts. I'll keep an eye open for the wake. I'm not sure when if it'll get all this way, but it should be coming from behind, so it shouldn't be a big thing. So now I'm actually sitting in one of my other spots where you can actually do a brilliant watch from, and if anyone can guess where I am, I'm in the bedroom. But you've got a view from basically everywhere. I can see behind me over there, well, not fully behind me. I can see from the sides, from back sides, from forward brilliantly. Going over a wake. All the way around to the other side. And it's very, very comfortable. It's a little bit hot, so it might only be useful in winter. And it's not somewhere I would actually do watches from unless I had a remote for my autopilot, so I could actually move away from things. But you do also need to keep an eye on things coming up from behind. So yeah, maybe a secondary watch. Maybe when Candice is on deck, I can look up every now and then and have a quick nap in between. I had to divert to avoid this big ferry. They go up and down all over the coastline here, and I think they're designed so that the front and the back are mirror images of each other. And I think you drive forward until you reach the port, and you drop the flap on the front, and the cars drive off. Other cars drive on, and then they drive. Then the captains and crew all walk all the way along the bridge to the other bridge, and then drive the boat from that side. I think. That's my guess, at least. That's what I would imagine happens because of the design. Oh, so this is quite a pleasant way to travel. a nice cool breeze coming, the sea is nice and smooth, I've got a good view of the mountains in the background. Unfortunately, no one's coming, I'm more impressive. My dogs need to be on top of me, and I have this entire gigantic bay to myself. What's there? But every now and then I still got to get up. At least every 5 minutes I think I'm doing this. Just to have a quick look around. Make sure there's nobody else. And you can see the whole bay is pretty much empty. And I think the reason is that there's pretty much no wind. There's a couple of knots from the nose. But yeah, I will chill out a little bit more and then increase the speed soon. I'm keeping an eye on those batteries. It's now 1 PM and my batteries are finally charged. This is probably the latest that they've ever been fully charged, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Firstly, we arrived last night at about 7:30, somewhere between 7:30 and 8 o'clock at the airport Anchorage. We took a while to get anchored because it's just rock and there's very few places to actually get a hold of a good grip. We did in the end. We had to push into a headwind to get there, and it was late, so there was no sun, so we were using pure battery power, and at one point I went up to 3 kilowatts to get moving. In fact, I think I went to 5 kilowatts at some point just to get there really nice and quickly. It's no fun anchoring in the dark. And then on arrival, Candice decided to power up the steam irons, iron her coat, and I think that was on for at least 35, 40, maybe even an hour. And the steam iron is a 1800 watt appliance, so that drained the battery a bit more. And then this morning we had cloud cover most of the day, so with the cloud cover we charged a lot slower in the morning than we should have. But now the batteries are full, and I'm going to take my motors from their usual, well, from their what I consider the endless power levels up to a nice comfortable cruising power level, and I think I'll take them to my usual 1000 watts on each side. Sometimes a little difficult to get the exact wattage you want. I'm going to call that close enough. 970 on one side, let's go down to the other. There we go. I'll call that a kilowatt on each side. 970 is close enough, and we should be doing probably 4 point something knots. We're busy accelerating, so there's 4 knots there, 4.2. And now the scenery will flash fast, quite a bit faster. So 2:15 in the afternoon, I'm doing 4.5 knots on 1.7 kilowatts of power in total. I've been going in this channel for most of the day, between sort of mainland Croatia and I think it's called Brač Island. Let's check on that. Not too much further to go. I've got another 7.6 miles. It says an hour and a half on the screen, but obviously I'll slow things down as I get there. What else? No wind to speak of. Zero. A little bit of slappy swell. I don't know where that's come from. I've gotten my lines ready, so let me zoom out a bit. Gotten my lines ready for later when I need to throw. That's a temporary line, I'll replace it with a big thick one. This one will stay. And my laundry is busy drying, and those at the front of the boat, they will be drying. Let's go and fetch those. The storm tonight has been upgraded. They were predicting 35 knots, they're now predicting 50 knots in the southerly, southeast, southwest, I believe. The anchorage I'm in should be protected from most sides, but it is open to the north, although there's a bit of a dog leg, so even to the north there'll be some protection. And yeah, just hope for the best. Didn't enjoy the last experience, even though our anchor held perfectly well. Everyone else seemed to have trouble and became obstacles for us. They were like so close to heaviness, literally less than a meter before they went forward again and managed to get out of the way. Terrifying. Hopefully tonight, which is even stronger wind predictions, won't be as terrifying. Show you where the marina is. There you go, you can see you've got steep ground on both sides. and the marina is tucked in not only there but all the way there, so there's almost no fetch for water, so there won't be any waves coming in, and I'm hoping that all of this will protect me from basically any wind direction. So we'll see how that goes later. So yeah, around this quarry is where I need to turn right to head into the town, and there were many different wind directions predicted, but what I've actually got is a fairly miserable 15 knot northeaster, and I couldn't figure out why I had these big waves going all the way back in the bay when I had no wind, and now it makes perfect sense. It's the northeaster. They call it the Burra. This is a weak one, 15 knots is not much. Might make docking a little bit trickier than I'd hoped, and we'll have to figure that one out when we get in, especially because I'm single-handed while I'm docking, which is going to be no fun at all. And as you can see, I've arrived at another marina. It's called Pucisca, and it is spectacular. The whole town is built out of the stone, as you saw from the quarry in the front, and it is really quite something. And very similar to Grado, I'm right in the middle of the town. So a bit of a rain shower again, and I did a load of laundry, so my laundry tank is just above half, and I'll take you through to the laundry room because I can see my tank filler from there. That's it. That's the clothes. This one as well in a minute. But if you look down there, you'll notice that I've got a cloth blocking the water, so the water will build up into a little bit of a dam over there, and it should flow straight into the tank. So let's see how this goes. Storm has picked up nicely, so as you can see, water is flowing in. Ooh. Phone getting wet, gotta bring it in. It's still raining. That must have been only maybe about 10 minutes of heavy rain. My tank is full. I've done all the laundry I need to do. Maybe I'll run the dishwasher and use some more water, because there's free water falling from the sky at the moment. And after pretty much a whole day of rain, the sun has come out and the light is just spectacular. There's Electra and the church. Still very cloudy in that side of the world. But what a pretty little town. I will definitely come back when Candice is around.